Good evening, Bellingham.
It's a long time no see, but to know a few hours.
Good evening, Bellingham. It's 7 o'clock. Board of Selectmen meeting. As a customary, please join us for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're gonna do actually a quick change on our agenda and Paul Glover was gonna go first, but if you don't mind, if you can actually switch it, and then we'll get the Veterans Council interviews first, and then we'll get that out of the way, if it's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you wanna, I know that was your
So I
Mr.
I
Ramsey.
made the recommendation to the board to institute a Veterans Council. Basically to help out the different veterans groups in town. We have the Memorial Day Committee, we have the Veterans Day Committee. We have the VFW in town, but you know, this is more or less just to help them, to fill in the gaps where these groups, the Veterans Agent, the VFW, to kind of fill in where they can't, they, you know, there is a little bit of a gap in services. So I work with the Veterans Council where I work as an employer. I know Framingham has a very active one. Milford has a Veterans Council. I'm like, why can't Bellingham have one? So we have in front of us some applicants. So what I'll do, if the board's okay, if they want to, you know, stand up and, you know, introduce themselves and say hi. And I think it would be appropriate, you know, since we do have this group here, that every single person here has applied, get put on the board, and then after everybody talks, I do have a little thing that I want to do for one person here in the group.
Mhm. Yeah.
I can see Mr. Snell is not here, Sandell is not here, he must be tied up. But I would make a motion to put Edward Sandell on the Veterans Council.
I have no objection to that. Nobody? No? No, I think.
A lot of
it's perfectly fine,
applications.
Yeah,
He
yeah, I
did.
think it's great up, yeah.
He was supposed to be here. I don't know what happened.
Okay,
You want to see all the names or just?
okay,
Yeah.
I want to put a name and a face together.
Oh, okay.
If we
Yeah.
can.
yeah, that's right, so Mr. Snell, unfortunately, Mr. Snell is not here.
Okay.
But I know who I can attest that, Mr. Sandell, not Snell. He is an Army veteran. He has plenty of experience. He is the service officer for the VFW Post 7272 in town. He's at all the veterans events we have in town. He comes to the coffee hour. His daughter is Officer Nicky on Bellingham Police. So I'd make a motion to put Edward Sandell again on the Veterans Council.
Do you just want to make one motion for all of them?
I think,
After the interviews, just one
oh,
motion?
okay, all
I
right.
think we can do one motion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do one motion. and then-
Mr. Sifazari.
Yes.
How are you, Mr. Sifazari?
Good.
Just tell us your name real quick and just what branch of service and when you served.
Sure. My name's Anthony Civizzari. I live at 7 Chestnut Street here in Bellingham. I'm originally from Milford, Mass. I enlisted voluntarily right out of high school in 1966. I served in the US Navy. I was in Vietnam for 1.5 years.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Matthew Lenahan.
Evening, everybody. Matt Linehan. I live on 10 Irish Lane. I grew up in Quincy. I joined the Army in 99. I was commissioned and I retired out of the Army in 2016. And I've lived in Bellingham for about 2 years now. Member of the VFW. I have 3 tours in Afghanistan and other overseas assignments, several. Yeah, just looking forward to serving the community.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Still on there.
Jeffrey Warren.
It's not here.
That's not here.
Okay.
Margaret Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. How are y'all?
Good, good.
I'm Margaret Johnson. I have 2 tours. I'm Army National Guard, signed in 1991, retired in 2019. 2 tours, one to Kosovo and one to Kuwait. I'm an 88 Mike, which is a truck driver, and I'm also an accountant. I'm the adjutant for for the VFW in Bellingham Post 7272, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
Carol Ann Palmieri.
Hi,
How are you?
good, how are you?
Good.
So my name is Carol Ann Palmieri, people call me Cal, C-A-L, and I live at 10 Pheasant Hill Road. Probably about 10 years, maybe a little bit longer, but officially 10 years. So I served in the Marine Corps. I went in out of high school in 1973 and mostly in Quantico and Paris Island. And what I did there was financial investigations, things they wouldn't probably do now because we all did checks back then. And I don't think people would know what that is anymore, but that's mine. And when I heard about the Veterans Council, I was like, kind of going to be 70 next month, and I'm kind of winding down and looking to help veterans mostly. I've been doing it unofficially for a while, but I thought this would be a great fit for me, and hopefully I could contribute something to the town.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nash, I don't think he needs any introduction, Jim Hastings.
Jim Hastings, I grew up in Framingham in a veterans housing project. Every one of my neighbors was a World War II veteran. I lived in Bellingham for close to 48 years. And for the last 28 years, I've been a member of the first of the War Memorial Committee. And for the last 25 years, I've been on the Memorial and Veterans Day Committee. And for both the last 15 years, I've been the chairman. And done a lot of things, different things we've changed up in town since I've been doing it. I've enjoyed it, love helping our veterans and making sure those who sacrifice their life are honored. And that's what I served, I was in the Marine Corps, served a tour in Vietnam, almost a tour. I only lasted 9.5 months. I wound up being medically retired from multiple gunshot wounds. And, that was the end of my story.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Jim,
Thank you.
thank you very much for your service, and then thanks for everything you have done over the years for the, everything related with the veterans.
Right.
I don't think we can thank you enough for that. Great, appreciate it. I'll see you around the neighborhood.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. I'm gonna make two motions. The first motion is to appoint Edward Sandell, Anthony Cifadari, Matthew Lenahan, Jeffrey Warren, Maggie Johnson, Carol Ann Palmieri, and Jim Hastings to the Veterans Council here in Bellingham.
Second,
Yeah.
we missing somebody? Art?
Art's gonna be a de facto. Being a municipal employee, he cannot vote on matters where the Veterans Council can vote on matters. So Art will be there.
How to vote.
And I was like,
And Art lives in Blackstone, so
Yeah.
but what it will be is, once you guys get together and you can coordinate with Hillary, I'm looking to meet once a month. Talk about any issues in town. Art can be there, representing the town's aspect of it. And anything you have for the town, you can either go to Art, or whoever you pick as chair can come to one of these meetings and bring it up to the select board, like, hey, this is what's going on. This isn't being addressed. Let's get this addressed. So that's my first motion is that.
Okay. So we have first, we have second.
I guess the only question I have is, do we want to hold off with the two individuals that, they're fine with me, but do we want to hold off on nominating them this evening until they've had a chance to come in and meet with us, like we've done with other individuals? I don't have a problem with them.
I talked to Edward. I talked to
I
Ed.
just want to be consistent,
Yeah.
that's all.
I mean, if you want to hold off on doing, I would say Jeffrey Warren. But I actually had Ed on the phone.
Okay.
I had about
Again,
yeah.
I just want to be consistent in how we do
but
it.
I have no problem holding off on Jeffrey Warren until he can come in front.
I've
of
never met him, I've never heard
Yeah.
Mr. Warren's name,
So
so.
we can hold off, so then I'll modify my motion to put Jeffrey Warren on a later date.
And it's nothing to do with Mr. Warren personally.
It's just, yeah, no,
It's just the way we've been doing
Okay.
things.
no problem.
Okay, so we have first, we have second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. I did some research. The town of Bellingham can appoint one person in town to be considered a Commodore. It's a ceremonial title. There is no real power with it. You can't run red lights, Jim. But I would like to make a motion to make Jim Hastings the official Commodore for the town of Bellingham.
Second.
Okay, perfect. We have first, we have second. All in favor, say aye.
All right,
Aye, ayes have it. Congratulations.
So you have a new name now.
But your new name is Commodore around town.
We made him a colonel.
You'll take Colonel?
We'll see how the Commodore thing works out. But we'll see how-
just don't forget the Marine Corps is the Department of the Navy.
We are the men's department.
department.
The men's department, oh, here you go, here we go.
Okay, congratulations and thank you very much for
Thank
everything you have done. Thanks for your service.
Thank you for your service. Just whenever you coordinate to set up a time that you want to meet, just check with Hillary and
Okay, after the parade's all done.
it's June first.
Thank
And the
you.
parade is when? May.
May 18th,
And I'll welcome
1
you.
o'clock from the Memorial School to the center of town. Ceremony afterwards at the gazebo before we do the wreaths
Mhm.
laying at the memorials at the common.
Great event last Saturday too.
Yeah.
This past Saturday.
We'll be flagging the cemeteries this Saturday.
Awesome.
Do you need any more assistance with the parade?
I need a couple people, we have two people. Sam is gonna be out of town and Carl Johnson, you know, he's laid up for a while, so I need a couple people to help line up the parade.
I think we have a veterans committee here that could be.
That's what our business.
Here we go.
There you go.
I'll be marching.
No, we can do Jim. Well, we're here to help.
Yeah, we can help.
We'll figure it out.
You get the DPW director right there, Jeff. You can.
DPW
DPW director.
person behind you.
Say
Say hi.
Thumbs up.
see
He's
the
ready
other
to
thumbs
go.
up.
There you go.
You are involuntarily told.
Voluntold, there you go.
Okay,
Raise your right hand, Jesse. There you go.
Yup.
thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it
Thank you.
and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commodore.
Okay, the next one is gonna be a municipal aggregation residential electricity program overview. Mr. Paul Roma.
Yeah, Paul's here, as we talked last week, wanted to have an overview. We really haven't talked much about the program formally since we adopted the legislation, I think in 2017, so it's been quite a while, and we're getting ready to go out to bid again to lock in rates, hopefully for 3 years.
Mhm.
And Paul will be able to give us a great overview of the program, and Paul, thanks for coming down.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'm really just exactly as Dennis said, the reason I'm here is to give an update on the program because you're coming up on the time whether it be customary for the town to enter into a new supply contract for the program. So wanted to give you just a little bit of a background and update and then tee up that decision about the new supply contract.
Yeah, it's a PDF, I think you sent, so.
Also to scroll.
Yeah, those.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just by way of background, Bellingham Power Choice is a municipal electricity aggregation program, which is basically group buying for electricity. Bellingham is one of the early towns to do this, but quite a few have followed. There are over 200 cities and towns in Massachusetts that do this, including some of the big cities, Boston, Cambridge, Newton do it, Worcester does it, Springfield does it, but then also a lot of mid-sized towns, smaller towns do it as well. It's become very, very, very popular over the last few years. For the history in Bellingham, it was authorized by town meeting in May of 2016, approved by the State Department of Public Utilities in November of that year, and then the program launched in March of 2017, and it's run continuously since. The benefits are stable electricity prices, and I'll give a graph on the next slide to show you the price history of the program. 2 choices, electricity choices for the town, and more than $5 million in savings compared to the utility basic service price. A little footnote or disclaimer down on the bottom, town can never guarantee that there will be future prices, the savings into the future. And that's because the utility price changes every 6 months. There's no knowing in advance when that will be. We'll lock in a price for the town. And if history is the guide, it will be on average lower than the basic service price. but we can't promise for sure because we don't know what that basic service price will be. As I mentioned, there are two options in the program. There's the standard, which is what people get automatically unless they choose something different. That just meets the state minimum requirements for renewable energy and is the lowest price the program can offer. And then there's an option for folks who want greener electricity. If they want to choose that, they can do so.
So green costs more.
Green costs more, exactly
That's what I
right.
thought.
Yes,
It's
costs
interesting.
more and so this, excuse me, this graph shows the history of the program price compared to National Grid basic service. Bellingham is actually, some people served by National Grid, some by Eversource. I chose National Grid. Most customers are National Grid. It would look the same if we looked at Eversource as well, though. You can see the town's program prices in blue there. It's been pretty stable. The utility basic service prices in red, you can see that jumps up and down, moves every 6 months. On average, the program price has been lower than basic service. Sometimes it's a little bit higher, sometimes it's a lot lower. On average, it's been lower. And one other benefit of the program is you protected customers against the really extreme increases in basic service prices a few years ago.
May I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I see in 2023, maybe, where the blue was higher. Was there, I'm trying to remember back why there was such a drop in the charges. Well, like National Grid, you could see how it's at 15, but we're up over $20 a kilowatt. Do you remember why that was? It was such a, because everything else is pretty level, then it jumped way up and then it came down. Any reason for that?
Yes, exactly right. So it's a great question. So prices jumped up so much at that time because it was driven by the war in Ukraine. There was a shortage of natural gas that was available. Since in New England, the way we generate electricity mostly is by burning natural gas. There's not much gas, prices skyrocket. As things calmed down in the electricity markets, the market price dropped. Bellingham, just because of the way our contract timing lined up, we had to lock in at a time that prices were much lower than basic service, like half the price of basic service, but still higher than we would have liked. What the town did then, and one of the flexibilities you have with these programs, is the town could choose the term of the contract. So when prices were high, we locked in for just 1 year, so that then you can see at the end of the year, we were able to get back down under basic service again. And then just to finish this up, over 60% of the electricity accounts in town are part of the program. The great majority are in the standard, with a handful of folks having chosen the green product. So now that brings us to why we're here, which is the electricity supply contract. These programs operate with two contracts, really. One is just a consulting contract with a firm like mine to help manage the program. But the big one is the electricity supply contract with a big electricity supply company who provides the electricity. Those tend to be 2-year contracts, sometimes 3-year contracts, as we were just saying, sometimes a shorter one, if that's what makes sense. We've had 6 contracts so far over the course of the program. The current one runs through December of this year. And you need to be in a new contract by mid-September in order to have time to transfer over to the new one. And so then just on the last slide, I think is just a timeline. The top part of the graph just confirms that the term of the current one, December 23 to December 25, need the new one by mid-September. The schedule we've laid out here is to wait until the new Eversource basic service prices are announced, which will be towards the end of this month. And then shortly after that, take bids for a new contract. If one of the bids seems favorable, the town can accept a bid on that day. But if none of them seems favorable, you can always reject all the bids, and you really have until September. So we could try again a few weeks later, or we could wait till the fall. But we hate to leave things till the last minute, so that's why we were thinking to do this now. And then the new contract would take place in December.
Do you have any insight as to where this is trending based on your experience in the market? It can change daily, right? I know, but.
I know, no, and it's a great question because, in particular, because this is such a volatile time, the electricity markets have looked a lot like the stock market.
Yeah.
So because a big driver of electricity prices is economic activity. So insofar as people think we're headed towards a recession, prices have come down, and they have come down from where they were. On the other hand, when the economic news looks a little better, the electricity prices bounce back up the same way the stock prices do.
Yeah.
So it is, it's just a really volatile time in the market, just like with the stock market. So it's hard to know. I think we definitely have seen some softening in prices because people are thinking probably a year from now, 2 years from now, the economy's not going to be as good as now, or at least there's a chance that it won't be. So the prices are down a little, but hard to know for sure where they'll be a year from right now.
Do you have, when you're negotiating, you're thinking about all right, here's the high range, we're not gonna go higher than this, and we're in acceptable low, like our bottom. And then do you have targets in mind when you're going into this?
Yes, we do. We look at a few things. One is the big benchmark is where's the utility basic service price? That's the best point of comparison. And so that's why we wanted to wait until after May 20th. So we'll see where those Eversource basic service price comes in. So that's a point of comparison. The other thing we'll look at is, we'll do two things. One is, we work for quite a number of different towns, so we're taking bids from other towns all the time. So we can let Bellingham know how your prices are looking compared to what others are seeing. And then we'll also take bids from 5 different suppliers for different term lengths, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And we'll see from a combination of those things what seems to be the best. I guess that's about the most I can say. We'll look at all these factors. We'll try to give you the best advice you can. Always with these, it's like when you lock in your mortgage rate or anything else, you're kind of not making a bet, but you're making a decision based on the information you have and expectation of how the world will turn out, but it may turn out a little different than you think, but everyone else is in the same.
Well, that's good information for the people that are watching and listening. It's great.
As you know, residents certainly have the right to opt out of the program. It's for their protection. That's why the legislation was passed and communities had the opportunity to adopt it. We adopted it to protect residents against price fluctuations, and it's been very effective here. So residents always had, it was one of the questions at town meeting that came up. A couple of people said, well, I don't want the town deciding that. Well, you don't have to. You can pick whoever you want for your supplier. So that continues to be the case. But one of the things that the board did, and it's been 8 years, and that's why I wanted Paul to come in since we're going out to bid again, was they authorized me to go ahead and make that determination because it's a very short fuse, as in a couple of hours. It's bid, maybe you can describe the bidding process and how there's a quick, like a 5-hour turnaround.
Exactly right. Yes, so the decision has to be made on the bid day. So it has to be done during the business day and on the bid day. So the reason for that is, of course, the electricity market is so volatile. So the suppliers will only hold their price for the day. And in fact, what they actually do is whoever wins is that day will buy their electricity for the next X years to serve the program. So they're going to lock that price in. The way the process works is, the bids come in the morning, we organize them and put them into a table so that it's easy to compare them. And then we'll meet with Dennis in the middle of the day. And if there's a bid that he likes, he'll accept that bid, and then we'll take care of the contract paperwork, get a contract over to him to sign, and he'll sign that day, and off he'll go.
I remember we did this.
Yeah, and obviously, Paul and his firm make the recommendation to us. If the board ever really wanted to get involved in it, what you'd need to do is schedule a meeting for like 1 o'clock on the bid day. And, that was the conversation that we had. And I don't know that I don't know of any community that would do something like that. But certainly with a new administrator coming in, I wanted to make sure that you were aware of how that program worked. And Paul obviously will be reaching out, and I'll introduce him to whoever that new administrator is, so they have a sense of the program. So, that from a timing perspective, that's how that works, and we would be looking at new rates in December. Yeah. But the utilities change rates every 6 months.
Yeah.
Ours will be locked in. If it's not a favorable time, like Dawn had mentioned, it's a much shorter period. be a year, which was the case.
Mhm.
If the rates look great, and one of the terms I remember we locked in at like 8.9 cents per kilowatt, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We did 3 years, so it fluctuates quite a bit. What you see right now is Constellation sending out those postcards.
Yes.
And they're like 13.5 cents, but it's only locked in for 6 months. And they offer a gift card of $75, but what happens is two things. The utility rates are getting ready to come down, so that 13.5 is not gonna look so good once the new rates come out. And once that 6 months is up, it's a teaser rate, it jumps up.
Yeah.
Oftentimes well into the 20s, and it takes at least 3 or 4 months. I think we say 3 months to get back into our plan. It's not that we're holding out, it's just that's how long it takes to get back in, so you're paying a considerably higher rate, so people need to be careful when they do that surfing. It's easy to do, you can just go online and look at, generation supply rates in Massachusetts, and you get the chart and all the firms, and
Yeah.
what you'll see right now is that our price is very competitive and has been the lowest over the period of the term that we have had, in effect, or lower, as Paul said, when you look at the 3 year, the 3 year window or 2 year window. I think this contract was 2 years. So,
We okay at the moment all the way to December, right?
yeah, we're good through December. We're gonna bid as Paul had said, the first week of June, we'll review them and make that determination at that point in time.
Okay, so we don't have to
That's
take
the
any action
process
at the
that we
moment.
use.
The only action
No
we
action
need to
to
take is to make a motion, I make a motion to authorize Dennis Frame to lock in the rate for the town.
I second.
Okay, we got first, we got second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Appreciate it for your time.
Thanks very much. for-
Oh, absolutely.
For the
Pleasure to have you.
Right, no, I
Take care.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next one is on the agenda, acquisition of land, Maplegate Country Club.
It's just to have a public discussion about the fact that, as I think everyone knows, certainly the board's aware of it. Maplegate Country Club has sold, and they're looking at putting in a solar project there. A couple of parcels were under agricultural chapter restriction, and the town of Bellingham had first right of refusal to purchase those. As you know, we've had meetings in executive session. I think those minutes will be coming out soon. I won't talk about the specifics of that.
Yeah.
But long and short, our town council, as the board knows, was able to negotiate 2 parcels of property which be granted to the town at no cost. We're looking at accepting them in May, and we hadn't had any public discussion on that. And certainly, since we're having a town meeting at 7:25, we wanted to at least, bring it to the forefront. I know just for the public's purpose, Rob will be able to show the specific parcels of land, but it's approximately 23 acres on Maple Street, and I think between the board and town council, it's a great job in getting some open space at absolutely no cost to the town of Bellingham. And in no way did we concede the solar project. It was just a matter of, our ability to use what leverage we had to get couple of parcels of land.
And like you said, I would like to highlight that again, that was a great work. As a board, Dennis, Hillary, as well as our town council, I think that was a huge collaboration together, and then, I think it was a great outcome.
You want to take it, Rob?
Yeah, so I guess just for the public's knowledge, the 2 parcels, they're north of 160 Maple Street, which 160 Maple Street is the entrance to Maplegate Country Club.
Mhm.
So the 2 parcels are these 2 right here. So one of them does have frontage on Maple Street, the other one is tucked behind with no access. And I know that it was negotiated with the property owner to get an access easement to these parcels, which there is one, it's a 50-foot wide access easement that runs along this property line on 160 Maple Street and then runs along the Bellingham and Franklin town line. So 50-foot access easement, which is
Fantastic.
excellent.
Good job.
Yeah.
Really good job.
Yeah.
And what's nice too,
is that whatever, we just keep it as open space or whatever we decide to do, there's wetland, what to the west here.
Yep,
Right. So
Right
that,
in the middle.
and then there's homes there, so it's, anything that we do in the back, the homes are protected and whatever we do down the road with this property, that area setback is protected. With that easement, makes it, gives the town a lot of possibility,
It does, and
which is nice.
we tried to really get the easement to work as well, because if there is a need to utilize that land, pushing that easement as far back as possible is the best option, since these wetlands and this GIS map are approximate, but if we had an access easement that terminates in the wetlands, I don't think it's in the town's best interest to get a municipal hovercraft, so.
No.
I think we might agree on that.
Yeah.
That's a great job.
Good job, Rob.
Thanks. Group effort.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
Well, this was a great work all around. Any other,
Nope, that was all that I had on that. Again, we haven't had any public discussion on it, and obviously it's an article on the warrant, so.
And there's been a lot of talk around town and different things, so it's nice to get it out there. This is what it is, and
awesome.
We'd like to see the golf course stay, but unfortunately,
yeah,
you
it's not
know,
our choice.
yeah, not our choice, exactly. But I think we made the most of it.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's awesome. Thank you, Rob. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
And great work all around again. Congrats. The next one is vote on executive session minutes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I think we skipped over somebody, right?
Did I skip something? I'm sorry.
DPW appointment.
I
He was,
think
Did I miss it?
That's on,
he's gonna go into time.
that's on.
Under the town administrator, I think that's.
Anticipation's building for various.
Actually, been waiting over there. He's been waiting there.
I think Dennis is gonna.
Yep, I'm gonna bring that in my report.
I'll make this real quick, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Make a motion to make a motion to approve the executive session minutes as presented to the board.
Second.
We got first, we got second. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Perfect.
Okay, now.
Let's move on. And it's, so the next one is gonna be, approval of town administrative position profile. Dennis, you wanna?
Yeah,
highlight something, or-
you've seen it. There are a few things that Caroline had picked up. We're gonna talk with Mary about
Okay.
tomorrow, minor things. The salary, the board never voted on that. I know we talked in terms of 220.
Yeah.
I think it would be up to as opposed to
Up to, I
plus or
think
minus,
that's- yeah.
because that's what we have in the war, in the
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
So if there are no other comments from the board, I know there are a few things that Hillary
Yeah.
had picked up, minor things I think
Grammatical
that,
things.
yeah, that we'll bring to Mary's attention tomorrow and get that thing
Okay.
finalized and advertised.
So I'd like to make a motion to accept the town profile for the town administrator's job profile with knowing that there will be some grammatical changes and also the salary structure will be up to. Is that what you wanted, the
Yeah.
language up to?
As far as that's what the board wants, yeah.
Striking out the 220 plus or minus.
I second.
Depends the qualifications.
Yeah, yeah, it's still open to negotiation,
Yeah.
but the point is, it's
Yeah.
not that, when you say 220, that means that's starting.
Yes,
We're not starting there.
I'm glad that we clear that language. So we got the motion, we got second. All in favor, Mr. Hennessy,
Thank you.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Congratulations on that. And, anything under new business? Perfect. And then, next one is gonna be, town administrative report, and that's where it comes down to Jesse and then.
DPW project manager appointment. I'd like to have Barry LaRiviere join us up front here.
Hi Barry, how are you?
Not too bad, how are you guys?
Yeah,
Good,
we-
good, good.
we,
Good to have you.
As you know, Chris Syriac had left us. Chris has been with us for quite some time and moved down the Cape, and he was fortunate to find a position close to home, so we wish him the best. He did a great job for us over the years, and we advertised for the position, and Barry is somebody who was with us as an intern back in 2000. He was hired by Don right out of college, and 25 years later, he worked for us for 3 years, up until 2003, and here we are 25 years later, and And we're back to the future. He's like gum on my shoe. I overuse that expression. But Barry's just got a tremendous amount of experience. He actually served on our conservation commission until 2016, so he has a lot of commission, a lot of experience there as well. And I know Jesse had written, you've got a copy of Barry's resume, but Jesse had written a recommendation and has joined us. And Jesse, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, no, Dennis, thank you. Well said as always. Yeah, we were very fortunate in that we had a great number of candidates for the position. I think we all agreed that Barry really stood out with his background, his involvement here in Bellingham. He's local to the town, knows the layout, and we're fortunate enough that he's done consulting work for us as well as worked for the town in the past. So I think we're very fortunate that he had put in for this, and he comes very highly recommended.
Barry has worked in over 150 municipalities in
Yeah, I actually
Massachusetts.
worked, so when I.
I'll let you
Yeah, when I,
tell us.
it was actually interesting, so I interned, out of college. I'll actually start from the beginning, born and raised in Bellingham, graduated in 1992 from the high school. Went off to various careers and things in my life, and then landed back in college at a later age. It was kind of funny, so you graduate college, you need a job. Well, there was a posting at the Bellingham DPW, and I was kind of like, well, do I really want to go to work at Bellingham? Everybody knows my family, you know, all the good and bad that goes with it, right? So I took the intern. I was actually the second intern that was ever hired in the town of Bellingham. We actually implemented the GIS system that you guys have today. We worked with Beta Group a lot, the town, our engineers. When the position ended in Bellingham, Beta actually hired me. So the day that I stopped working in Bellingham, I started in Beta. Came back as a GIS consultant for the town of Bellingham. During that time, I was on the Conservation Commission, started in 2000, so from 2000 to 2016, I was on the Conservation Commission, so involved in a ton of major projects going on in town. And then while working for Beta, we were doing the engineering design for major projects going on in town, so it was just, I was pretty much never really left. Was in the engineering GIS field for about 18 years. 15 years, yeah, plus or minus. Just got tired of the commute. I would literally go from Greenwich, Connecticut on Monday to Laconia, New Hampshire on Tuesday. Mainly working in municipalities, specifically DPWs, bringing in asset management and implementing pavement management systems, ADA compliance, a lot of things that you guys have today. Had an opportunity in the town of Norfolk for the assistant director's position, so I took that for 7 years. Saw the advertisement in Bellingham and thought kind of would come back home. So met with Dennis, met with Jesse, met with Sean, good group of guys. I think it'd be a great fit for Bellingham.
Great.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, and it's, I have no questions. Anybody have any questions?
No.
Martinez, Mr. Menassi, Mr. Altomonte?
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Barry. I'm sorry, how do you say your last name?
La Riviere,
La Riviere.
the river, it's nice and easy.
La Riviera to the open position for project manager for the DPW.
Is this the motion or is this your ratification? Because it's your hire or Jesse's hire, right?
Yeah, technically as an interim administrator, all those appointments have to be,
Yeah, that's
obviously.
true.
come to the
Yeah,
board, so
yeah,
you should
yeah.
vote formally.
You
on
should
it.
go for
Yep.
me. Second.
Yeah,
Yep, very good.
so, for, Mr. Frane's ratification, we got the motion, we have a second?
Yep.
We got first, we got second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good to have you back.
When do you start?
We haven't worked that out yet.
No.
So kind of have to let Norfolk go, let them know that, hey, I'm not gonna be there anymore, but.
Yeah, well,
They're not gonna find, yeah, they're gonna.
No, they know,
Okay.
I've talked to the town administrator, the director, everybody,
Yeah.
everybody's
Good. Welcome back.
Thanks,
Good
Barry.
to have you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Barry,
Forward to it.
appreciate it.
Look forward to seeing you all.
Yeah, we'll see you around.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse. Anything else,
Jesse, I don't think we need you for anything else, do we? Am I forgetting anything or we got anything else for you?
Nope, that was all I had. Thank you
That's
very
it.
much.
Okay.
Good, great.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank you, Jesse.
Have a good
Yeah,
night.
I think we got everything. Yep, that's it.
That's perfect. So seeing like it, we fulfill our agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn to go watch the Celtics.
Perfect. We got first, we got second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic evening.
Great meeting.
Someone else.
25, 26 Boston at the end of the first.
So you're great meeting.
Oh, yeah,